What common sales practices should actually be illegal? Hidden charges. Yeah, your package tickets or whatever cost $25, but once you get all the charges, shipping, convenience fees, taxes and everything else, you're actually charging me for double that. Medical institutions in the United States almost never allow a patient to know how much any of their services cost until the patient has already received treatment and is financially obligated to pay for it. Late to the party, but mail that is purposefully made to look like something important when it is really just marketing. Doubly so for companies you actually do business with, like banks sending you things that look like bills or statements when it's advertising their new app, or debt consolidation companies sending you mail that looks and initially reads like collection notices when it's just offering to consolidate your debt into a lower interest loan. When I get important mail from a creditor or bank, it generally comes in a fairly nondescript envelope, or electronically, more likely. When an envelope is covered in open immediately or immediate response required decals, I assume, pretty safely, that it's junk mail. Selling you the highest grade anything without telling you about cheaper options. Example, I got a couple pairs of glasses the other day. The salesperson told me it would be $200. I said the ad said 2 pairs for $120. Then she told me the frames I picked needed thinner lenses. Okay, I get that. I ended up saying never mind, that's too much. Then she said what about $170? It turns out she was adding a coating to the lenses I never requested nor wanted. WTF. I mean, at least go over the options. That's like buying a car for max price and them not telling you you don't have to get heated seats, etc. only after you complain. Knowingly misrepresenting something without putting it in text. When I was shopping for a car, the salesman said great news. I checked, and we can finance your car for X% APY. And naturally I was skeptical, because car salesman. So I went to my bank and asked what their rates were, and crazily enough the car salesman was offering a better deal. Except no, he wasn't. When I went back to buy the car, he realized he made a mistake and gave me the revised number. I should have walked away on principle, but I desperately needed a new car. Except it turns out he made another mistake and didn't even tell me about it. He just out the real number in the paperwork and hoped I wouldn't notice. I did. Don't blatantly lie to you customers. When I bought a car, the financing guy seemed annoyed that I actually intended to read the agreement before I signed it. Made me want to read it even more closely to make sure nothing was changed from the verbal agreement. Pretending to be healthy, especially children's food. Some baby formula has so much sugar in it you might as well feed your kid ice cream. Same with things like vitamin water. Rice Krispies, 0 trans fat, no crap. Rice Krispies, your ice. Links which are titled like this man ate a burger and something crazy happened, followed by the link. Hope that's banned and people have to just post what it is. Our Savadai our click is exactly what you're looking for. The new will beat anyone's price where you bring the proof of a lower price from a competitor, but sadly, it's not the same model because theirs has an added letter or number they made the manufacturer put on it for exactly this reason. So it would be impossible to price match exact models with any other seller. Oh, see, that's the Hoover 12345. We sell the Hoover 12345E. Sorry. Hey now, sometimes the 12345E model uses different color plastic, only available at Walmart. The ridiculous sales charges and add-ons costs ticket websites take. I bought something from Ticketmaster and they added 27% off charges on top. StubHub are no better either. Bastards. I was working in an office next to an O2 Academy music venue. There was a band I wanted to see, so I looked online for tickets. £30 each and £6 booking fee and £1.50 card fee. Freaking con. So I went to the box office with cash and saved £7.50. My college was not as smart and paid the fees, plus an extra £2 for special delivery of his tickets. Marketing internet service by speed if there are data caps or throttling. If my package is for 50 megs, I should be able to download 24/7 at 50 megs, with reasonably leeway for internet weather. Obviously, anything else is fraud and deceptive advertising. Medical workers, doctors, nurses, dentists, pharmacists, psychiatrists, etc., and their clinics should not be allowed to receive any kickbacks from corporations or drug companies for shilling their product. There should be no incentive for them to recommend a drug procedure product. All product recommendations and prescriptions should be based 100% on medical expertise and do no harm. Deceptive names of products. If I buy strawberry and peach juice, I don't expect it to be 60% apple juice and taste exclusively of apples. And if you are going to have a juice of which 60% is apple, wouldn't it be more honest to mention that instead of naming it after lesser ingredients? Hospitals not telling you what they are going to charge until after you've gotten the treatment. I understand there are complications sometimes, but I shouldn't be getting a bill 6 months later from the testing company when you knew you'd be doing a routine test. Imagine if you bought a car and then got a bill for it 6 months later. There'd be riots. I literally just had this happen. I got a huge bill for a procedure done in December. The fun thing is too is they waited so long to bill my insurance. My new insurance was the one that was billed, not the much better insurance that I was under during the time of the procedure. I plan on fighting it. Not necessarily common, but multi-level marketing. Companies recruit non-salaried participants to sell a product. Those recruits usually have to pay some sort of upfront cost to participate. In addition to selling the company's product, they are encouraged to recruit additional participants because you get a portion of any profit made by those you recruited. What ends up happening is a giant pyramid scheme where you rarely make any profit from your own sales to make it worthwhile, and you're trying to recruit new participants to make money that way, and every new participant you recruit faces the same issue. Research shows less than 10% of any recruited participant actually makes a profit. MLM is banned in some countries but allowed in the US with caveats. Amway is a good example of one of the larger ones. Herbalife, man. Pharmaceutical commercials. Ask your doctor about. No, if you needed the medication, then your doctor would have already talked to you about it. Besides, there is always fine print at the bottom with risks like serious infections, heart failure, numbness, and death. But, of course, they always gloss over that in the commercial. Airport prices on goods. I shouldn't have to spend my vacation money before I take off for crappy service, okay food and a bottle of water. I hate this. The Portland or airport mandates that any store that has a location outside of the airport must match their prices in their in-airport location. So the cost of the stuff at the store is exactly the same out and in airport. Everywhere else just takes advantage of tired, hungry people. Ad corrections, aka illegal bait and switch. Circuit City was famous for this. They would advertise an awesome deal in the flyer. Then when you'd come in the store looking for that deal, ad correction would be next to the item explaining that there was an error in the ad and that the real price rebate was XXX and that sorry for the inconvenience this has caused you, our valued customer. There were roughly 6-12 of these per week and one person was always delegated with the task to ensure the ad corrections went up, since without them, it would be considered bait and switch. God, I hate these. If there's a print ad with the price in it, they should legally be obligated to honor that price even if it was a mistake. No rain checks or anything like that. Strictly what's currently in stock. But the idea that they can advertise a price and then just say sorry, nah, that was wrong is such balls. I worked fast food out of high school and they made us do some fricked up upselling tactics to trick people into buying things. They would order a family meal and we were told to reply, okay, and would you like the chocolate chip or lemon cake with that family meal? People would choose one or the other and then be surprised that we tacked $6 onto their meal. Because we asked, which would you like instead of can I interest you in? It's fricked up and a lot of people didn't catch they were scammed. I didn't like it. I get that it's an effective sales tactic, but it's dishonest as frick. Ugh, yeah, we had to do that at the place I worked too. It was a lot of random little add-ons, like peppers or cheese on a sandwich, or bottled water instead of tap, but the way we had to phrase it made it sound like the stuff was free. Airline overbooking. You've already paid for your ticket. Then at the airport they take your bags and give you a stub. This isn't your actual ticket. You don't have a seat yet. You'll have to go through security, wait until everyone's boarded and see if there are any empty seats. Can you imagine if other industries did this? Welcome to the movies. That'll be 16 bucks. Oh, but sorry, you can't see the movie right now. Maybe if there are any free seats. If not, tomorrow you'll be able to see the movie. Yeah, I'm with you on that. We've sold 220 seats on a plane. That only has 200. Yes, you've traveled miles out of town to the airport. Been fricked with by people with metal detectors for an hour. Paid a fortune for a crappy sandwich, but can you just come back tomorrow and we might let you on a plane then? Oh, and we may or may not give you your luggage back within the next month also. Any company soliciting product sales on the basis of technological breakthrough should be required to 1. Prove their claimed breakthrough. 2. Prove their breakthrough is their own and unique. 3. Be required to explain to any buyer the technological breakthrough. I say this because things like Euclidean's unlimited definition engine are the epitome of fooling people with hard to understand technology as well as non-transparency. These things are basically legal forms of lying. If a car company can say, our car's transmission makes your car 4x more efficient than if you didn't have it, without explaining they're comparing it to the little worse possible transmission, and that their transmission design is literally older than their brand, they can effectively lie to someone. The mobile games market. Seriously. There's so much wrong with this market, but the most staggering thing is that you get SNES quality games for the price of a PS4 game and the season pass and the extended game of the year edition, and you still won't get everything within the game. Posting on Reddit under the guise of a normal Redditor while in fact you are some corporate ad person trying to endear and entice the population of this site by adopting its mannerisms, trying to fool people into thinking you're posting original content while actually advertising your wares. Marketing medications directly to consumers as is done here in the US. The rest of the world thinks that is absolutely insane, and with good reason. Your doctor should be the person prescribing medication, not you. Restaurants should actually have to make the food they're advertising. No Photoshop allowed. I agree, to an extent. There is a restaurant near me that advertises and makes sandwiches with half a pound of meat on them. They look amazing. They taste like I'm eating half a pound of lunch meat with some sauce. The pictures look just like ones I've seen for normal sandwiches that taste better. Everything to do with pharmaceutical sales. My old roommate sold knee injections. They had 2 products. The 3 series, that is, 3 separate injections, and the single series, a single injection. The single series is cheaper and more effective. However, most surgeons would buy the 3 series so they could bill their patients 3 times instead of once. He told me he would go into offices and say, I have this single series product billed at X rate by Z, Y and X insurance companies. I also have this 3 series that you can bill at X rate each visit with those same insurance companies. So let's make some money, doc. It makes you stop and wonder if you're getting the best treatment or just the most lucrative treatment. I recently bought my first home. Every single day I get at least one piece of mail that looks like it's an official form I need to fill out and send back, with a check for some amount of money. When you read the form completely, it becomes more clear that it's some crappy company trying to dupe gullible people into sending them money for something they don't need. That crap should be downright illegal. My mom saves her junk mail for me or one of my siblings to go through and figure out what's legit and what's advertising or this kind of thing, because she just can't make heads or tails of it. My dad handled all of the bills and house stuff their entire marriage, and she's had a tough time with it since he passed away. When they bought our house, the title company actually showed us several examples of mail like that and told us to throw it away immediately. Now I don't even give it a second glance. I had a car salesman do this thing where, after negotiating a price, he had to take my debit card to his boss to discuss the deal, to show I was serious. He did it twice in one negotiation. I left. Never mind. I was just kidding. I love wasting my time at car dealerships, setting up fake deals just for fun. Tacking .99 onto things to make them seem cheaper. I know it would never be made illegal, but frick the penny, I hate dealing with it. Honestly, the number of people I know who are incredibly smart but refer to 59.99 as 59 or, even worse, 50 is appalling. For all intents and purposes it's 60, and you should treat it that way because referring to it by a lowered price is exactly what they want you to do. Cold calling. either over the phone or in person, being aggressive with your sales technique, selling a vulnerable person something they either don't need or something far too high-end for their requirements. A friend's elderly relative visited a PC World branch locally for a VGA or HDMI cable to connect their laptop to a TV. The salesman convinced them that they needed to buy an entire new laptop and office and antivirus and extended warranty before it would work. If that tactic doesn't work, they will happily sell you the monster cable gold-plated VGA cable with lifetime warranty for $59. And these clowns are wondering why they are going out of business. Planned obsolescence. Can't spell that dang word. Companies like Apple release updates to slow down old phones to accelerate the feeling of wow, this phone is really bad, I should get a new one. I'm like 4 updates behind on my iPhone 5C and I am never updating this thing again. Samsung is starting to do this and it's so disappointing. Got the June update, refused to ever update it again. One of the reasons why I bought Samsung over Apple and now they're stooping to their level. All of healthcare. A doctor says you need something but can't discuss the costs. It'd be equivalent to you walking into a restaurant for a snack where the menu is in a foreign language. The waiter can barely speak English and doesn't understand the prices but orders for you. Not only do they get you the most expensive items on the menu but they order more than you need. You're the one that pays. They provide you services and the price will be an absolute craps roll. So much so in fact, that no one at the hospital will be able to talk to you about potential charges. Did you use the restroom during your stay? $200 sanitation fee. Did you use the water fountain? Forgot to mention the $100 hydration fee. We did skin to skin after my daughter's birth and were charged $300. They rotated the giraffe she was on and charged a $200 turn fee. My dad's been having health issues and he gets the same sort of charges. It's complete BS and should be outlawed. No other industry would be allowed to function like that. When my niece was born there was a $150 charge on the bill for a circumcision tray. My brother-in-law threatened legal action if that was not removed from the bill because everyone knew it was a girl being born. The hospital caved and the insurance company saved $150. Media sources that can be proven to deliberately mislead should be fined heavily, enough to deter it. It's poisoning everything right now. Selling a bigger quantity with a family format or king size mention on it. It implies that you get more bang for your buck, but most of the time it's a blatant ripoff. I see this all the time with shampoo in particular. Costs less per liter in the normal size than in the bigger family bottle. It honestly disgusts me because it's preying on families which are already on a budget. Note, they also sometimes do this when selling 2/3 items bundles. They bundle it together, put it on a discount aisle and advertise pack of 3 inches on it, when sometimes it is just as expensive, maybe even more, as buying the items separately. In the Netherlands buying a 9-pack of McNuggets is more expensive than buying 2 6-packs. It's ridiculous how many people buy the 9-pack because they think it's cheaper. Labeling Splenda and other sweeteners that contain the same if not more glucose production than sugar as a healthy alternative and 0 calories because as long as the packets have 5 calories or less they can actually label it as 0 calories. Which is only legal in the US if I recall correctly, you know, since it's also legal here to bribe politicians with donations. Basically anything that isn't being completely open and honest about the product and allowing the consumer to make a reasoned decision based on what they need and what they can afford. Seriously, if you need to use anything other than that to sell a product then it's crap for the customer. Made with 100% real beef, when in reality 10% of the final product contains the 100% real beef and the rest is all the other crap they pump into it. It's a play on wording which allows companies, fast food mostly I guess, to keep themselves covered while purposely misleading customers. Yet if customers complain they're covered legally, it's such a sly and horrible move. Not even going to go into the possible price hikes for these items either. On the same topic of food, major companies will have smaller sub-companies which sell cruelty-free meat while sister companies sell the regular meat. So even if you do buy the cruelty free, the money is still going to a crappy parent company that is just exploiting the market and people who are trying to eat more consciously. The list really does go on and on when it comes to food chains and companies. It's an absolute nightmare. Starting to look up local independent farms so I can go straight to the source and hopefully see the conditions. Marketing foods jam-packed with sugar, no pun intended, toward children. Diabetes and obesity is a massive health issue in children in the US right now. It's all because sugar is added to virtually everything in one form or another. Juice products, something you would think is healthy for children, have almost as much sugar in them as sodas. Check out the documentary Fed Up. I cannot begin to tell you how screwed up the food industry is. Service fees for online products. Why are you charging me to print out my ticket from my own printer with my own ink? To go along with that, random service and inspection fees while purchasing a car. It's amazing how $15,000 out the door can turn into $16.2 or $17,000 before taxes. Get the frick out. Marketing directly to children under the age of 16. I feel like aiming commercials towards young children ends up causing way more harm than anyone cares to admit, especially when you consider the fact that most of the stuff that's marketed to them is complete crap with little to no redeeming qualities. Sugar-coated breakfast cereal, cartoons and movies that are actually thinly disguised commercials themselves. Cheap made in China toys and clothes and candy. I feel like at best this practice leads to children growing up completely jaded and cynical, sort of like me and my friends, and at worst can steer children to an unhealthy lifestyle as adults who make poor consumer decisions. And how many parents hate the "can I have that" BS? No son, I love you but that toy is a complete piece of overpriced crap that you'll be lucky lasts the ride home. If a person isn't allowed to have a job then they shouldn't be advertised to. And don't try and tell me, well, technically they're aimed at the parents, because no one's that stupid to believe it. Product rebates. They advertise the product as $100 and the fine print says after $20 rebate. They know full well that they won't pay out the full rebate because people forget, or don't have the original receipt, or it gets lost in the mail, etc. If anything, they should have to advertise the product as being $120 and you also get a lottery ticket for a 50% chance to win $20. Selling crap over the phone with no written agreement, then only being able to cancel subscription over the phone that never answers. Service fees. Don't sell me 2 concert tickets at $25 each and then tack on a service fee that is almost half the price of the ticket. And credit card offers that come in the mail that are labeled important or time sensitive or response required immediately, and then it's just an offer for a new credit card. Ads right in the middle of freaking videos on Facebook. Be decent like YouTube and place them at the beginning of videos. Where salons have always peed me off. Call in, hi, how much are highlights and a cut? $45. If you have longer hair maybe $55. Drive to salon, get services you asked about. That'll be $190. Bundling the price so it seems like a customer is buying one thing and everything else is just included. I work in cellular sales and this is happening almost everywhere. My superiors now expect me to sell the taxes of the phone, the accessories, an additional tablet or cord device the customer has to pay monthly for, as well as a $20 fee for the paperwork. A $30 2-year membership for the customer to have access to a useless device drying machine that our store doesn't even carry, and a $10 VIP yearly membership for a small amount off accessories every visit. It usually ends up costing the customer anywhere around $230 to $250. $60 of that is pure intangible bulls. When I am told to do this, I'm not allowed to break it down and tell people what they're paying for. I'm only allowed to tell people it's included in the price right before the customer pays for it. Bundling is sickeningly misleading and predatory. I can't do it, and my job is at risk because of it. I had a very serious talk with my immediate supervisor and told her that this was incredibly dishonest. There was absolutely no way I was going to charge a customer an extra $150 for stuff they might not need. Accessories? Maybe. The $60 worth of pure profit that I get absolutely none of on my commissions? Absolutely not. They literally want me to charge the customer for $60 of pure air. Even if they paid me more to do it, I still wouldn't. It's shady as frick. Most people in our area live on a fixed income and can't afford to drop $60 on something they'll absolutely never get any value from. I'm not misleading anyone to think that they're paying for just the phone and everything else is included. That's bulls. A majority of my clients come back to me and me only because I won't sell them bulls they don't need. If I start misleading people that way, I'm losing customers and the business overall suffers. It's so disturbingly predatory that I'm honestly looking for another job. I love working with phones, but dang is it a shady practice. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.